reality because
the abduction of my brother, death to the thief, straining and draining your source of soul's source, cut off its paragangliomic head and your vascular tentacles lashed and locked to your gut, sucking, execute renegade cells, creating the jail cell encasing your body and encrusting soulful soul smothering smiles, occasionally breaking through the maze, repeated experimental treatments. The beast in the belly has invited its kin, residing in various parts of your body, including skin, sucking supplements, liquid diet, greedy tentacles sucking, 40 years of breath like a night thief, stealing into life, like warrior fighting for life, greedy sucking tentacles, the body only, past visions embroidered with smiles from one ear to the other, ears as large as a smile. When you were a baby, Debbie next door called you Wide Smile. When you were 7, you and Marlon had to pay when you farted. You would laugh so hard you would fart some more. When you were 10, we took turns baking and we played. One of your gifts, the spirit of play. When you graduated from high school, your nephew broke your Serengeti shades twice. When he was 1, you taught him how to break dance. The dream to become a photographer framed 10th anniversary of the image. 10th anniversary of the Image House magic. Smiles can make life stand still behind the lens. Magic only can kill the beast in the belly. Stealing life can. Prayer replaces play. Eradicate renegade cells.
Good evening and welcome to Africa's Vision Network. Africa's Vision Network is a show that talks about cultural awareness, education, and economic empowerment. I am Princess Ayo, your host for this program. This evening, our program will focus on the art of photography and graphic arts. Our special guest this evening, his portfolio includes the image of Babyface, Colin Powell, LL Cool J, the Notorious B.I.G., actor Will Smith, and many others. His clientele include Damani Dada, Moeshe, Butterware, Fubu, Radio 1, Black Entertainment Television, Sister to Sister Magazine, D.C. Mayor Anthony Williams, the Washington Wizards, Def Jam Recordings, Epic Records, Sony Records, and a range of different record labels. His work has been displayed at DC Live, one of the largest nightclubs in Washington, D.C. He's been on national television as the photographer for Rachel, host of BET's Planet Groove. He attended the Art Institute in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, specializing in fashion art, and completed 2 years at Tidewater Community College in graphic arts, specializing in photography. Who is this, you may ask? He is Mr. Saul Symington, one of DC's top photographers and founder and CEO of the Image House of Washington, D.C. Saul, welcome to Africa's Vision Network.
thank you.
We're pleased to have you this evening. And after that mouthful, then I see here on my script I have now, tell us about yourself. But there is so much to say. I mean, I've already said so much. But just tell us about your background, how you got to this spot.
Well, you know, in high school, you know, everybody kind of like have something that they like. I messed around with photography, taking pictures of all my boys played football and they was into sports. I was more into the arts. You know, I took art classes, clothing classes and stuff. Then I ended up taking pictures of them while they was playing football, and I started liking. But photography is so expensive that it's kind of like you have to understand if this is something you're going to do, you have to get serious at it. And my mother...
I have to interrupt you because I just can imagine when I was in high school, any boy that was doing artsy things was laughed at. Did you get any of your boys laughing at you or joking because you were not playing basketball with them and taking pictures on the side?
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, you know, everybody kind of, if you're not really heavily into sports, they kind of, you know, tease you a little bit. But, you know, that never really, like, you know, made me lose my focus on what I wanted to do. I got into it. It was something I really liked. They enjoy getting their pictures, you know. Okay. I made them happy, and I seen that this is a way to make people happy, and it made me happy also. So, you know, just I got into it,
right.
Took some classes in college, and then I really concentrated in it.
And you were about to talk about your mother and how she influenced.
Well, yeah, it was actually her camera.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, she brought a camera, and I just pretty much took over the camera, and it moved on up from there.
Okay. And I must tell the audience that your mother is the producer for this show, so I know she is super proud of you, and I can just imagine she's such a hard-working person on this show, and so focused, she probably passed that down to you. Do you think you got that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, as a child, you never really know where you get your gifts from. Definitely, you know, from my mom, you know, she push. I guess that's where I got it from. But more or less, more people, when you start to do something, people, you know, they either hesitate in believing that you're going to be able to do it, and I think that gives you even more assertive to push even that much harder.
Right.
You know?
Was she the kind of parent that she saw a little bit of what you could do, and then she pushed you all the way over on the other edge?
She kind of haggled me a little.
She did.
Yeah,
you know, I could just imagine her being like that. I had parents like that too.
Yeah.
They would see me draw one line and they go buy me an art set, you know, and they really get excited about.
Yeah, no, she was real doubtful about a lot of things. It's like, you sure you're gonna be able to make it? Are you sure this is what you want to do? And I'm like, you know, I enjoy it, you know. So, I tell a lot of people, if it's something that you enjoy doing, you're gonna work that much harder at it, you know. And I think that's what really keeps me going.
Well, you know, art is enjoyable for artists, you know, and I'm an artist also in my own way as a storyteller. And it's great and it's enjoyable, but it's scary for parents because, you know, often artists love it, but they just don't make money to feed the family off of it.
That's where the term starving artists come from.
Yes. It isn't always pleasant.
No, it's not. It's not.
Besides your mother, who are your other role models in doing this work?
Definitely have to give honor to God. He's definitely blessed me with my craft, and I look to him for a lot of support and a lot of things I do. You know, other than my mother, that's, you know, as far as my role models. I'm inspired. I have a daughter now, and just I want my daughter to grow up and be proud and say, my daddy was this and he was that, you know. So, you know, that's more my drive.
So how did you start in the business of photography? What were some of the earlier jobs and things that you had to do? I see you did some work with Ritz Camera, just a company we take for granted. Just driving down the street, you see Ritz Camera.
You
so
know,
what?
It's amazing. It's like all these little jobs you take. You know, you work in somebody's studio for a little while. You work for this photo lab. You work for this photography company, and little by little, you pick up all this information, and you're able to gather together down the road, and it's really built up a big background for me. So it's just a lot of little jobs, and then, you know, your main goal is, you know, you want your own studio, and, you know, it's so far away when you first starting out, you know, and down the road, you know, it became a reality. I started a little shop in my house in the garage. Set up some lights, and, you know. You know, would like invite people. Hey, I need some pictures there. I'm trying to be a photographer. You know, ask people to come in, be a model. You know. They have fun. I have fun, and, you know, as time went on, you just learn. You pick up the craft, and you get the eye for it. You know?
And you had people that were patient with you.
Yeah.
While you were learning, and you had to take their pictures.
Hey, free pictures. You know, most people
be excited about it.
Away free.
Now, tell me why. And this show is talking about photography as an art. Tell me why you see photography as an art.
Well, I see it, you know, a lot of times, you know, you can take a person that's not a photographer and they can shoot something, and then you can take a person that's a photographer and he actually captures what it is that you're looking at in a more artistic way, you know, just composing the photograph. It's just so many different elements of composing a photograph. And then as you develop your craft, you learn to just to really look into what you see. I mean, I'm riding down the street with friends and stuff, and I see like an old beat up alley and an abandoned building, and I'd be like, oh, that's a great place for this photo shoot. I got this idea, and you know, they look at me like, what is he talking about? You know, what is he?
Right.
And that's just, you know, that's something that you just develop over the time.
Okay. And I guess I understand what you're saying now, because there are pictures, you know, that I take. You know, just take of a family at events, but then I see some of the work that you have around the room, how you actually have captured something in the person's face. And I'm thinking about people's faces now. And you can just imagine someone coming to your studio like me and sitting there. How do you get to that place where you feel like that's the picture, or do you just take a whole lot of pictures?
Well, yeah, starting out, it's like, you know, I would like just shoot. You know, I tell people if they're really interested and they want to learn how, it's like, you know, just buy a bunch of film. You know, go get some cheap film. It don't have to be good film. And just learn the eye, learn to compose a photograph and compose what you see. A lot of times, you know, people looking at something. I have people standing behind me and I'm on a photo shoot and they looking and they never see what I see because I'm looking through the lens and I see something completely different than what they see.
Right.
So, you know, just once you get that down, composing it and, you know, just playing around, then you start getting the idea of exactly what it is that you like and what it is that people like.
Right.
And once you start creating these images, people see the images and they're like, wow, how did you get that shot? How did you get it to look like? How did you make me look like that? And, you know, and that's just something that just comes along.
With practice.
Yeah, it's you know, it's like a gift per se, but it is a craft that you learn and you work at. Then after a while, it becomes just a gift, and that you be able to.
Right. You be able to not use that as many film shots. You'll already, you know, now. Because I guess at the beginning you got photographs everywhere, just paper floating around. I can just imagine. What area of photography do you specialize in, or do you have a specialty?
Yeah, I specialize in commercial, fashion, fine art, you know, editorial. A lot of the high-end photography. I used to be into the like landscape scenery and stuff. I'm really like a people photographer. I specialize in photographing people.
Okay.
That's my gift.
I can see that, and I'll have to confess. I'll confess to the audience, and I went in on your website, which is so fabulous, and printed off color pictures that I saw there, especially of Lauryn Hill. I see you have a picture of her, fabulous. Fela Ransom Kuti, may his soul rest in peace, the singer from Nigeria. And it's just beautiful artwork. And what struck me about your work when you do it in color, what I saw on the website, that graphic art part, is the color combination. It really speaks. It's really got something to it. And like you say, so you just practice that, or you're really telling us it's a gift.
Yeah, well,
no, how to combine.
It's kind of practicing, but see, graphic arts is a complete different element of, you know, besides photography. And the thing was, you know, when I was in school, I took up photography, I was graphic arts specializing in photography.
Okay.
So as the time go on, you know, you with photography, you learn the colors and you learn all that. So then you can take that and you put it right into the graphics. And, you know, that became a very powerful thing for me, for my company, to be able to do photography and graphics. Because a lot of times you go to a photographer and all you can do is take your pictures, and then you have to go to a different person to get graphics done and a different person to get your printing done. And, you know, I tend to do everything all in one. So that's kind of where I picked up everything from.
Great. Well, let's look now at the type of cameras that you use with you. What type of cameras do you use?
We have, you know, like a basic 35mm camera.
Okay.
I prefer Nikon equipment. It's just, it works, you know, it's like a workhorse for me. Then one of the best in the business as far as medium format concern is Hasselblad. The optics, Carl Zeiss optics, are very sharp. Very expensive camera, but I mean, it really shows the difference. You know, the beginning of my career, I settled for a lot of other equipment, and now that I'm able to obtain equipment that I prefer, I can really see the difference in my work, and it's really taken me that much further. Also, we to the digital. I mean, nowadays you have the digital state, and with the digital camera, what it allows you to do is a lot of customers, clients want stuff ASAP. So I can actually shoot the images, load them onto a computer, touch them up, do whatever I have to, email them right to the client. It speeds up the process. A lot of things with the digital age is it really hasn't taken the place of the conventional camera style. It's a good supplement. It's a good speedy process, but it doesn't match up really with the equipment.
So it's really, you can see the difference. We would all be able to see the difference between a digital photograph and a...
unless you're using like a high-end digital equipment, like very, very high-end, you really, with the high-end, you won't see the difference as much. But, I prefer, the old-school equipment.
Right.
Definitely.
What projects are you working on now? We've got all these names of people that you've photographed in the past. What's coming up right now?
Well, we just finished up photographing the first NBA cheerleader calendar for the Washington Wizards. We're in the production stage. We're doing the graphics and setting it up, and designing it, finding sponsors, and putting the whole thing together. I worked on other calendars before where I just was brought on as just a photographer, or I was brought on as just a graphic artist, or both. Where this is my project completely for the Image House, basically.
To divide up what happens in your company with the photography part of it and the graphics part of it. How does that work? Does it come together, or is it separate?
Well, sometimes it comes together. Some clients, just had a client recently that I did a gospel CD for, and we photographed, the actual picture for the CD cover, and then we designed it also. So that's when it kind of comes in together. You get some clients that they don't want to bounce around here and there to these different people. They like to be able to come to one place and get everything done, and that's what we're able to do over at the Image House.
That's great. And being to me, you're a young black man anyway. It must be quite a feat for you to be out there. You have your own place. It's not in the garage anymore. It's not in the basement somewhere. It's not on the fly. It's really the responsibility of paying the rent of the office and sticking to it. Tell us, how did you do this as an African American man in America?
Wow.
Big long question, I know, but we're interested.
Coming out the gates, of course, mother helped out a lot. And later on down the line, my brother chipped in. But really just just keeping your focus. A lot of people, they think, now where I'm at, they think, oh, you got the car and all this. And I'm like, I don't have that, because I chose to opt not to have that. To take my money that I make and put back into my studio, buy more equipment, more computers. I mean, especially with computers, 3-4 months down the road, there's something new out.
Old.
So I put back in, but coming up with the rent starting out was wow. It was tough. I really was like
scary, huh?
It was some moments there that I was like, I'm not gonna make it, and everybody think I'm not gonna make it, so I'm gonna prove them right. And I was like, then I got on my knees, prayed, and things worked out. God has definitely been great to me. So that's basically how I've been getting by. But now it's to a point where in the DC market, at least in the DC market, that my name is bubbling, and a lot of people out there, recognize the quality of work that I put out.
Right.
And it's not like, hey, well, let's do Saul a favor and give him some business. It's not even really about that. It's really about the quality of work that I give them. Most of my clients seem very happy about the service I provide for them.
Right. So in a way, how you got over was to sacrifice and give up on the beautiful things.
Sacrifice is the key word to entrepreneurship.
It sounds like it. What are some of the trials that you have now and tribulations you have now as a black business person? Let's say this could apply. Probably you could give advice to young men and women.
I think the key thing is, you know, it's not a lot of racism out there like it is, but it really is.
Right.
It's more undercover.
Right.
A lot of times you wouldn't even know it happened to you. Okay. For instance, when I went to purchase my camera, you know, the Hasselblad camera is so expensive that, you know, purchasing equipment alone was, yeah, you know, this guy, he come in here with the jewelry and he look young and he's probably gonna steal the camera. You know, a lot of people don't take you serious, and you know, I had a lot of trials and tribulations with that alone, and then people just taking you serious. I'm not a suit and tie person. You know, I don't, you know, I'm not in the corporate world.
Right.
I have corporate clients, but I'm an artist per se, and I'm just a down to earth brother. I like to dress like I like to appear to be. And you know, people say, "Hey, Saul, man, if you put on a tie when you come over there to the you know job, you know, maybe you know they look at you." I want them to look at me for what I am. So you know.
Tells us some of the things that she remembers about her dad. So tell us, Gabby, about your dad being your guardian angel when you were at George Washington Hospital with your mother.
My dad is my guardian angel because when my mom went to the hospital to go see about a parking ticket, I was running up the stairs and I fell forward and I felt someone pull me back.
Okay. Oh, and what's your name?
Gabrielle Saul Sillington.
Tell me about the dog, the music that was playing.
I got this for my dad for a Christmas present.
For Christmas present? Why you chose that dog?
I didn't choose it, my mom chose it.
Your mom chose it? Okay. And also tell me about your last Christmas. How was it?
Good.
Good. What did you get? I know that your dad got you a lot of presents.
I didn't get to open all my presents. I brought a few here. And I came up here. I came up here at 4 o'clock in the morning to surprise my dad at the hospital.
Was he excited to see you?
Yes.
What made you decide to go over there and surprise him?
I don't know.
You don't know? The computer. Tell me about the computer.
My dad got me a Mac laptop.
A Mac laptop. Do you know how to use it?
Yes.
A lot. He showed you how to use it? Okay, what did he show you that was most important on the Mac computer?
The game.